Cabinet meeting today dwelt on our Enpo issue, on their movement to achieve the FMT and what has followed since then. So, a review of what the sequences of events have taken place since last year. We had dwelt on those. And with the latest statement made by the Enpo on the issue, government has to make certain clarifications. Firstly, we would request that no quarters has any misunderstanding or have misconceptions on the entire process. We should understand that no adverse remarks have been made by any individual or organizations ever since the Enpo movement started for a new political entity. And the state government has in fact initiated this by recommending the case to the MHA more than a decade back. So ever since then, things have been working in perfect tandem, and there were no misunderstandings at any point of time. So, the state as such, as you are aware, was not a party in the talks, and it was a direct meeting between the Enpo and the Ministry of Home Affairs. All the while since 2011. And it is just few months that the state government of Nagaland had come into the picture after the state government paid a visit to Delhi and interacted with the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Minister of Home himself, that the state insisted that it should also be taken into confidence and that it should be a three-party talks in whatever concerns the aspiration of the Enpo. So a tripartite talks proposal was made by the state government in October last year, following which they reciprocated, and the Ministry of Home Affairs after that have taken our Chief Minister into confidence, and some correspondence have been established since then. Now, the latest issue pertains to a draft letter received from the Ministry of Home Affairs by our Chief Minister. This is where controversy erupted due to the authenticity of that letter. We call it a working paper. Some call it a draft, but it is a letter received, an official letter received from the MHA, where a draft proposals containing certain points that surrounds the demand made by Enpo to the GOI were the main contents of this draft. So, on receiving this, our Chief Minister had a meeting, a consultative meeting with the legislators from the eastern region, and he had handed over this draft he received from the MHA to their convener called the NLU, Eastern Nagaland Legislators Union, sometime in the later part of December last year. This draft was supposed to be discussed along with the other members of the ENPO and all relevant organizations representing that region. Now, controversy started at that point. To be specific, the letter came to be questioned of its authenticity, and members of the ENPO did not accept it as an official letter from the MHA, but it came under accusation that this was a manipulated draft from the state's level at the chief minister's level, to be precise. So they refused to acknowledge that this was from the MHA, despite the legislators and the legislators persistently telling them that this is authentic. So unfortunately, matters could not be taken up for discussions at their level, which was very necessary because it pertains to the sharing of powers if tomorrow things unfold as per their aspirations. The power sharing has to be there among the representatives. So the first thing, it deals with the power sharing, then the rest can be discussed further. But since it got stuck from the beginning on the question of its authenticity, I believe no further discussions could take place. And after that, you know, we have had so many other issues at hand which took most of the attention of the government. And for want of more positive response from the ENPO side, the state government have kept this matter still pending to be addressed. But it got stagnant here, and that was the reason. So that is one clarification we would like to make. And all the sequences of events from last year, after the matter came to the table of the government, up to today, are contained here in this press statement which the government is making today. The copy should be given to you, where days and dates and months, everything was reflected for your information. That is one. So, you're all right with the first point. Yeah. ULB. ULB is something we're also familiar and have been anxiously awaiting for this day, when it would be conducted. As you see, this is a welfare and development oriented council, whether it be municipal or the town councils. And it is a semi-autonomous body for local self-government to manage their own affairs at their own local levels. So it is something to facilitate and usher in developments in their respective town councils and municipalities. So it is for the benefit of the citizens residing in those towns and municipalities. The government has formed the State Election Commission, which is acting as the catalyst to conduct the elections. Now the government has its role to play in as far as constituting these bodies are concerned. But because of certain problems, which you are well familiar, we have not been able to set this process for more than 2 decades. And finally, we have come to a stage where we have cleared all the hurdles and about to start the process of constituting these councils. Now, I don't know why this has to be seen as a means to register their resentment and their protest on their demands, which already is under process at a higher level. The Town Council ULB, Urban Local Bodies election, is to do with the grassroots level developments, and it is for the upliftment of our citizens at that level. So the cabinet today has decided to once again request the ENPO and all other concerned organizations to reconsider their decision, which has been flashed out yesterday and today in their papers, to abstain. But this should be seen differently. And in fact, it would be good, it would be doing justice for every citizen in the nook and corners of this state if they actively participate to bring in more funds through private institutions or from the state or from the center to further develop our urban local stations and urban town councils. So we request that it should not be seen as a means to lodge their protest in this way. Matters relating to our free movement regime, the FMR, which made the headlines just during the last assembly also. So after the hue and cries of the people who are affected, particularly in those residing near the borders, the international borders, and in the interest of Naga people and all other citizens along the McMahon line, the issue has been thoroughly debated in the Assembly, and finally the State Assembly have passed a resolution asking the Government of India to review their decision for scrapping the free movement regime in the border areas, because it curtails our right on so many aspects of life, and this will be detrimental to the interests of people living on both sides of the border, for which, in fact, the two governments of India and Myanmar have had a free movement regime 16 kilometers into their respective countries, understanding our sentiments and our cross-border trades and daily activities. So the government is very firm on its stand, and we have learned that the GOI have taken up this matter and is under active consideration. So we would request all other NGOs and civil society organizations also to be patient and wait, since this matter is being considered. Hopefully, in a positive manner, it will be dealt with by the government of India. That is our request to every individual and organizations in our state. You seem to have overheard our meeting discussions. Well, as political parties, any kind of elections are always looked at through the prism of the parties. So there are different opinions of setting up their own party candidates, which is very natural, but there are some other ideas also which have been mooted from different corners. I'm sure the political parties, especially the alliance, they will arrive at a logical conclusion best suited for them. You will come to know it in due course of time, don't worry. Okay? Certainly, it is a pressing demand of our times that the government or the people as a whole should address our political issue with more focus, more commitment, more dedication. So, the government have finally taken a decision that a political affairs committee, in line with exactly as what you said, in line with the past, where we have had several PSCs also, but this time with a renewed vigor and with more focus and will to resolve this issue at the earliest possible time. So this has been formed, it will be formed, I mean, the orders will be out in a while from now. And not only this, because the political parties whose legislators represent the particular region, assembly constituencies, and through their MLAs, they cover the entire state and the public. So all the parties are requested to form consultative committees, political consultative committees, exclusively for the purpose of the Indo-Naga political issue. And these PCCs will be assisting the PSC at all levels, in any manner, while the government try to reach out to mobilize and garner the support of the CSOs and the NGOs who are relevant to this matter. And certainly we will be taking up the matter over a period of time, involving as many relevant organizations as possible in the days to come. I will dwell more on this on another day. You open up, that's why I just gave you a little of the tip of the iceberg. We will need to discuss this more in detail some other day. In the past, government have tried to beat them, but somehow the situation was not very favorable. Unofficially, the government was informed that they would not meet government at that point of time. So through the Eastern Nagaland Legislators Union, NLU, and through the Eastern Nagaland Gazetted Officers Association and GOA, we have communicated our requests and all that we wanted to make known to them. So we have been in touch through different organizations, but directly we have not met still. So today also we communicate through our fourth estate, our media fraternity, that this request be placed to them again.
Nagaland TV, Sop Manulaga Awas. Watch us live on Geo TV and on your television sets as well. For Dimapu viewers, we are on channel number 994 in Global Chapter, and Kohima and Mokokchung viewers, switch to channel number 138 on Hornbill Digital. For all news and updates, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.